As we wrap up this year and head into the next, we invite you to give a big fuck you to 2020.
But not just any fuck you, a fuck you for a cause.
Let's start with a giant fuck you, COVID-19.
Fuck you for taking my job. Sorry. Furloughing my job.
Furloughing? Fuck you.
Fuck you for closing his school.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you for canceling our wedding.
Fuck you to the toilet paper hoarders.
Fuck you to all the people in 2020 who said all lives matter.
All lives will fucking matter when Black lives fucking matter.
Fuck you, Derek Chauvin.
And a double fuck you to the killers of Breonna Taylor.
Arrest those fuckers. Speaking of murderers, fuck you, murder hornets.
Murder what?
Murder hornets.
That's a thing?
I've had it with these motherfucking Zoom calls on this motherfucking computer.
Fuck you, New Zealand. You think you're better than us? Well, you are, but fuck you anyway.
I don't care who you voted for. Fuck this guy.
Fuck you, Karen.
Fuck you, Karen.
Fuck you, Karen.
2020.
Fuck you.
Fuck you for taking RBG.
And Kobe.
And John Lewis.
Fuck you for taking my grandmother.
2020?
Fuck you!
Yeah, fuck you, 2020.
Fuck you!
God, so glad we're past that. And so we're here, the Reality Redemption Podcast, first one of 2021.
Hi, MJ.
Hi, Snow.
Hi.
Short for Snowflake.
Hey, right?
Hey. Is it a new year, new you?
It is. And now that we got like all the fuck yous out of the way, time to get positive.
Yeah, I mean, 2021 has to be better than last year.
Right? It can't get any worse, can it?
Yeah.
Could it get worse? Do you think it could get worse?
I think the first few months will be kind of shaky. But we have some good things coming up, especially this week.
Yeah, I think Georgia votes again, right?
Georgia votes.
They've been voting. I've seen lots of cool, positive early voter posts lately.
Yeah. What's it? Up to almost 3 million early voters.
Woohoo!
So there's a very good chance that they're going to take the Senate, especially after that recording came out today that Donald Trump was trying to convince the Secretary of State of Georgia to find 11,780 votes.
Of his? Or, I mean, does he really give a shit about the Senate race? I thought it was all about him.
No, it's about the president's race.
Yeah, just about him.
He's still trying to overturn that.
Oh, yeah. Well, good luck, bitch. Sorry.
All right, but on the note that this is going to be a more positive outlook on the podcast this year.
Hey, that was positive. I said good luck to him. Just because I threw in the bitch.
My first cheers.
Cheers.
2021. Didn't get to see you on New Year's Eve. How was your New Year's?
It was great. It was fantastic. I feel refreshed. I know that it's going to sound like weird. I'm going to sound like one of those super natural healer type people or whatever. But I swear to God, I have like no knee pain when I go in that water. And then like it'll wear off in a few days and then I'll have knee pain again. But I am going to see a specialist about getting the injections.
But you're talking about Desert Hot Springs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I didn't even let everybody know. I went to Desert Hot Springs, my home away from home. They have like fantastic mineral water there. So to those of you who listen who are interested, yes, it's totally worth it to go there.
And that's right outside of Palm Springs, right?
Yeah, it's right on the other side of the I-10 from Palm Springs.
So we thought for the first episode this year, because we did the Turkey Awards right around Thanksgiving, we thought we'd do a podcast with the Redemption Awards and the good things that did happen in 2021 and the good people that should be recognized.
Yes, all of our rock stars.
Yeah. And so I didn't prepare music for this one. And I didn't know what animal, because we had the turkey noises, I didn't know what animal to have for sound effects on this one. Plus, the turkey's kind of made a mess.
Can we just say that we're giving them hugs?
Yeah.
Since we're not allowed to give real hugs anyways because there's like COVID and we can't hug them, we could say we're giving them a hug. Huge hug. I'll do it.
I don't remember the last time I had a hug. To tell you the truth.
Right? I miss hugs. I miss hugs.
All right, so coming in at number 10. Get this out there. This one is the mayors of 2020 who had to make really difficult decisions. Starting off locally, our mayor, Jen Miles, and she came up with a mask mandate that was extremely unpopular. Republican mayor, get that straight. She's Republican, but she was doing the best for the community.
And if I can add, that's probably the thing that pisses me off about these jerk-off people. Y'all never had one single problem with the mayor until she installed a mask mandate for the general population safety. Then you seem to have a problem with her.
And I'm sure
that's fucked up.
And what that is, lack of leadership on the state level, because our governor would not, he would just leave it up to the cities to make their own decisions on it, because he didn't have the balls to.
Governor Ducey has no balls. Yeah. Right. No balls at all.
Now he's unpopular with both sides now because of his flip-flopping. So
so he might as well just taken a bullet,
career.
So to speak, and put in a mask mandate. But
so again, all mayors have been forced into difficult decisions. Andrew Cuomo of New York.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of Andrew Cuomo, this doesn't have that much to do with the mask mandate per se, but I would like to thank him for explaining the difference between a red Republican welfare state and a blue state that, when he did the whole thing, when he used Kentucky, Mitch McConnell, as the example, because Kentucky has 10 of the poorest counties in the entire United States. So the state of Kentucky, I might get this part wrong, but for every dollar that they put into the federal government, they take out, I think it's over $2 that they take out. And the reason that they can do this is because of states like New York, because New York pays in more to the federal government than they take out. So thank you, Andrew Cuomo, for explaining how most red states, except for maybe Texas, are, because I'm not quite sure on their numbers, but that would be the only one that I think would not be a welfare state, that they might actually put in more than they take out.
Hopefully in 2021, something that comes back is facts, real information, and not alternative facts and not lies.
Hopefully those will be popular.
Okay.
Another cheers to facts.
So cheers to facts.
Cheers.
Cheers to Jenny Miles and the great job she did this year.
Hugs, huge hugs to
Jenny.
To all the great mayors and governors.
Yeah, and hopefully we get tourism back and get downtown back to the way it was and be rocking as soon as we get that vaccination going. All right, next one. Do you have the envelope from this one?
Let me get that envelope.
Here's the envelope.
Okay.
At number 9.
We have... It looks like entertainers, meaning all of our great comedians and musicians.
Late night hosts who made us laugh.
Yes, thank you for all the laughs. We desperately needed them.
Bill Maher for speaking the truth. And
Stephen
Colbert. Seth Meyers.
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah, yeah, he's a good one. Let's see. God. And the music, people were doing the music from home. I know Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day, he would post like a new cover song every week on YouTube.
You know what I was wondering about music? Remember how we got like a ton of great music? Like, I mean, I call it basically protest music. When George Bush was president, I remember a lot of the bands that I like punk bands, did a lot to speak out against President Bush. Where's all of our great protest music? That's one thing I will say.
Well, like American Idiot, the Green Day, one of my favorite albums of all time, American Idiot, was about basically the Bush administration.
Well, yeah, right. And like a band that I really like, NoFX. So they did a whole the war on errorism back then. And then they also did like 2 CDs that were like, I think there's only 2 of them. No, there might be more. I only have 2 of them. So there might be more than that. But the Rock Against Bush, like they put out a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm just wondering where all this stuff is.
I know that.
Where is it? What are we holding out for?
I know both Bruce Springsteen and Billy Joe from Green Day both said that people are just so sick of hearing about Trump that they just don't want to put out the music. Plus, you know, we're winding down to the end of that administration anyways. But
well, I know, but I was wondering where it was. I kind of felt like it was...
Well, and some artists kind of have to be careful with their base, you know, like, do you believe like some people didn't know? Like
then a cheers to Mike Ness of Social Distortion. Thank you for like, I know you got in trouble for it, but thanks.
You know, some people would talk about Rage Against the Machine and go, "Hey, just shut up and stick to the music." Rage Against the Machine was always political, and it was always against right-wing policies. And they still are. Well, I mean, aren't there rumors around those guys maybe doing something? But I think that Zach De La Rocha... No, they were supposed to tour last year. Now they're supposed to tour this year, but it probably won't happen until at least the end of the year. Because, like, I love Tom Morello. He's another artist who's, like, extremely for, like, workers' rights. Like, he's sung at the Teamsters convention before. So, thank you. Yeah, I love Tom Morello. Big hug to you. Yeah. And his mom is funny. Have you ever heard him host with his mom? No. Oh, she's funny. You ever seen Dave Grohl's mom? His mom is a teacher. No, Yeah, and Dave Grohl really talks about how much he learned from her and how much he respects teachers. Because of that. So yeah, all the entertainers out there for keeping us entertained, although we don't have live music, but hopefully. And speaking of Dave Grohl, though, I found it highly entertaining, the drum battles he did with the cute little nugget girl from England. Yeah. And like she kicked ass. I can't what's her name? I don't have it in front of me. I was going to She's adorable, though. Yeah, but look it up. The drum battle between her and Dave Grohl, and she actually won. She kicked ass. Yeah. Hugs to you. Virtual hugs. So, let's get to number 8. Do the honors. Number 8. Well, since we had Narcissist on the last one, coming at number 6, Empath said a little bit further down because we're always overlooked. But and we're nicer, so we don't care about it's not about ego or anything like that. Right. That's up to the Narcissist. Yay! The empathetic people out there and the people that went out and they were kind to each other. Because you didn't see a lot of kindness in 2020. No. People were too... a basket of emotions. You can't even say one thing. You can't just say people were too angry, because it wasn't that. People were too angry, and people were too scared, and people were too sad, and people were losing too much, and people were... There wasn't a whole lot of positivity, but
like, because it was difficult to have a whole lot of positivity. But the things that were positive were like some of the protests that came out of that.
Right.
You know,
the whole Black Lives Matter.
Yes, that was one of the best protests that I have ever been to, was the BLM one that they did here. And I think that a lot of it had to do with, too, like, how much shit they got before it even happened. Like,
Right.
it was insane. I still will never forget seeing some of the assholes here and some of the, like, that's why people are not going to get me to think that some of the problems with people, like, liking Trump so much is they, like, when we sit there and think that some of these folks are voting against their own interests because they're voting for Donald Trump because they're poor folks, they're not always voting against their own interests because they're voting for white supremacy and that's what they want. You know, like, I will never forget having to see a couple of the businesses downtown boarded up their windows. And a couple of the businesses downtown took the liberty of posing out in front of their businesses
With their guns.
with their guns, and we're talking fully loaded guns, like AR-15s. Like, and I don't know if I can just believe that that's like a thing of protection, or if that's like,
It's just.
I'm waiting for you to push my buttons so I can use this. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to think that, but I didn't like what I saw because I was like, you know what? People are just trying to say, just please fucking stop killing us. Stop killing us when we're unarmed. Stop. There's fucking story after story. And if you haven't fucking paid attention to one of the stories from now on, if even one of them, if you didn't sit there and think, I would never have to worry about that because I'm a white person, you know, and, or if you didn't even understand some of it, then it's because, maybe it's because you are a white person and you don't have to deal with some of that stuff. Like, that's all we're trying to say with that, okay? And the only other thing I'm going to say is all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. I mean, it's fucking real simple. It's a simple thing. Yeah, duh. We all want to get to the point where all lives do matter. All of us want to be on that page. So if we allow Black lives to matter, folks, for some of you who find it so difficult, or if we insist that Black lives matter, then all lives will fucking matter.
You know, go back to the gun thing for a minute. The same people that say that they need the gun for their protection and to protect themselves and the ones they love are the same people that were against the mask mandate, which is the exact same thing. It's for your protection and the protection of others. You know,
it's a good point.
We're the goddamn mask.
Hey, if we're talking about fucking protection, right? That's what it's for your protection and safety.
You know, shout out to Jason Marino for starting up the Mask Up Mojave County page on Facebook and making me a moderator on that, because that was crucial into extending the mask mandate for.
Great, good job, guys. That's a really great page. That's probably one of my favorites of our friends. Like, it's probably one of my favorite pages.
Yeah, and so everybody that did help out with extending the mask mandate as long as we could in this town. Thank you, and virtual hugs to all you too.
Yes, big hugs.
Okay. So that leads us to number 7.
Okay.
That was easy.
I only got one corner. There we go.
There we go.
All right. So, coming in at number 7. This one's exciting. Arizona goes blue.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that Arizona would go blue?
I don't know, because I think it's been since, I don't want to get this wrong, it was either the 30s or like the 50s since Arizona's had like blue in it.
We have two senators that are now Democrats. Joe Biden won the state. It's hard to see from our little super red corner of Arizona where we are.
Right.
That,
I would like to point that out, like what you're saying right there real quick, not to cut you off. I know it sounds like I did, but so I remember when the election was happening and people were all like, I mean, I got talked so much shit to by all the Trump humpers. They're like, keep dreaming. You got your head in the clouds, you know, when I was like, Arizona gonna be going blue. And I had said that a long time before. And they're like, keep dreaming. And I go, look, I ain't even counting on this part. I ain't even counting on Mojave County. I know they're going to stay red as fuck. But guess what I'm counting on? Phoenix, Tucson, and Flagstaff. I'm like, right. That is what's going to drive it home. And that is what drove it home. So, right. Yay.
But in our own little deep red corner, what's a deep red, like crimson?
Yes, let's say crimson.
Yeah, in Crimson, Mojave County. Mary McCord.
We have Blue Angels.
Jem Morgan, Heather Patnode, and everybody else. Susie Gestrine before she moved to Washington. They were all vital in at least getting our voices heard a little bit. And
they're all still vital, and I love all the things that those women have done. Like they have done stuff even more classy. Like I know I have the same goals as them, but like they're so much better at communicating them than I am, and I love them for that.
Not to mention the time that they put into
I
it,
know.
And the passion and everything else.
Because I would get so frustrated if I was y'all, and you guys are just, you're so great about what you do.
I don't have the patience for what they do.
We love you. Yeah. You're our Blue Angels.
Yeah, you're all awesome.
In this sea of red.
So big hugs to you. See, we don't actually have awards to hand out because of COVID, but, you know, we'll hand out virtual hugs instead.
Yes, big hugs.
Okay, so that brings us to number 6. Oh, man, it's tough glue on these envelopes.
Oh my gosh,
Jeez.
They're just like tearing.
All right, one more. All right, there it goes.
Where are these made in China envelopes? Like, I thought he was bringing jobs back. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why can't we have envelopes that work?
Oh, they were the Ivanka Trump brand envelopes.
Oh, that's what you went ahead and got the Ivanka brand. Okay.
But she would love that. This comes out of that envelope. Number 6, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Yay!
We've got what's today? We're recording this on the 3rd, so 17 more days.
Can I just tell you that, like, number one, I'm so excited for it, but I don't think that it really had set in right after the election, but like for the past couple weeks, the thing that I am even like more excited for, the thing I'm the most excited for is that the United States of America is finally going to have a woman vice president. And we have had like a lot of powerful women in high positions, but never a female vice president. And I just know that she's going to make a great president someday. I mean, fuck that. I mean, like, I'm just so excited, though, to see what this country is going to be like with having our first female VP. Like, I just think that it's going to bring women even more to the forefront. Not like we're not already kicking ass, all right? Because we do. We kick ass every fucking day. I mean, think of all the moms out there doing everything they do, and all the women, you know. Women are amazing anyways. Like, we run our own houses. We get shit done. So I'm really just, I can't even, I'm getting like all verklempt right now. I can't even like put it into words how excited I am for this to happen.
And not only Biden, Harris. Personally, I'm not all that excited about Joe Biden because it's kind of vanilla, but I think we need vanilla right now. But I'm more excited about Harris and the cabinet that we're going to have.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have actually qualified people in the cabinet for a change.
I'm still excited about Biden, don't get me wrong, because the last couple of speeches that he has put out there have been fucking awesome. He's just like, look, we're doing this. Like, he's fucking ready to go. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. But yes, I will say I'm more excited about Kamala.
You think on the 20th, after the inauguration, I can't speak, you think Joe Biden will be out there if Trump is refusing to lead? You're like, get off my lawn.
Fuck, I hope so. I'm not even gonna lie.
Think he's gonna leave peacefully?
I hope. Well, remember my fucking meme I made? Because I was like, that one with, because I love, first off, I think there should be more memes made with Biden and his humongous fucking teeth, dude. There's nothing funnier, all right? And I purposely made that one. I'm like, where he's like, I'm not defending the police or defunding the police. I need someone to fucking arrest Trump's ass when he don't leave, you know? Fuck it. Yeah, give him a taste of his own medicine. Personally, I hope they drag him out by his comb over. Or whatever that surgery he had to, like, make that hair happen.
Oh, God. Well, it's coming to a sad, pathetic end to that presidency.
Yep. And he's just making it worse. But, like, making it worse for himself. But I'm just going to say, girl, you keep doing what you're doing because I like seeing you lose a whole lot. And if you want to keep losing all the way up until you lose and get kicked out, fine by me.
Hey, have you heard anything about Bernie still being a labor secretary?
No, I don't. I've been like dying to hear who is going to be picked as the Secretary of Labor. So I've really been like, I'm like on the edge of my seat every time the radio announcement will come on and they're like, Biden selected so-and-so for another cabinet position. And I'm like, is it going to be, are they going to announce Secretary of Labor? But they need to see, okay, number one, I think they're holding out because they need to see what's going to happen with the Senate. And if Georgia doesn't go that way, there's going to be like very little way for them to go ahead and pull Bernie out of the Senate. I mean, and there might still be anyways.
No, because like in California, when it comes down to that, the governor appoints the Senate.
No, I know that. I know all that, but I'm saying for like...
Although is the Vermont governor...
That's what I don't know. But even like...
It's my state.
Even if... Like, I mean, I just... Sometimes I don't know because look at what Bernie Sanders did this last week. I was like dying laughing when he's on the Senate floor and and this is what I want to see more of. So if any, I doubt any of you are listening, but any Democrats or independents in Congress, I want you to listen to this. I want to see more of this. You guys need to hold these motherfuckers' feet to the fire. Like, so Mitch McConnell sat there and said, well, we don't want this $2,000 stimulus if we raise it to $2,000, which, by the way, is a Trump thing. And all the Democrats, of course, were like, fuck yeah, let's give everyone $2,000. Yeah, we're on board for it. They already passed it. It took like no time to pass it through the fucking House, right? So then it moves on over to the Senate, because this is how shit works, folks. You got to learn this, I'm telling you. So it goes on over there.
I think our listeners know this.
Right? And then so Mitch McConnell's like, no, or I'm going to try to do the Kentucky. We can't have that. We can't have where we're giving, then we're going to give $2,000 to folks who don't need it. And that's going to be like socialism for the rich. And Bernie Sanders said, aha, okay, we're gonna go off of this socialism for the rich.
That was a pretty good McConnell. Now, can you do the Bernie?
When Senator McConnell talks about socialism for the rich, so I've brought in these gigantic lottery checks. Let's give one. Our first check goes to Amazon. And he gave one to Delta, and he gave one to, I'm always so like, and it's so funny because all of my friends on the right always, like to talk shit about Bezos and how much of a piece of crap socialist he is and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, no, he's pretty much a capitalist because he likes to do the same thing that a lot of capitalist companies do that hate unions. And so what they do is they pay their employees such shitty wages that their employees, since they can't afford healthcare and they have to have some sort of supplementation to survive, they have to go on government programs, which the taxpayers, that'd be all of us folks, have to pay for. And that's what Amazon does, okay? And that's what Delta does, and that's what FedEx does, and that's what Walmart does. So, yes, and these companies, many of them, usually FedEx is on the list of paying no taxes, so I might be safe to lump them in there too. That's why they all deserve those big checks to explain shit.
Okay, and you get another point, Snow, racking them up today. The governor of Vermont is Phil Scott, and he's a Republican. So he would get to appoint a senator. So that's why Bernie.
And does it have to be, so if he's going to appoint a senator, does it have to be one from the same party? Because some states are like that, where it's like you have to appoint, like people were telling me if Elizabeth Warren got put into a cabinet position, the governor, even though I think might be a Republican also, so he would have to appoint another Democrat to fill her seat because she's a Democrat. So I don't know.
Well, as this podcast is going to grow in 2021, hopefully we can have an intern that can be here Googling this stuff as we start ranting about it.
See, that might be risky too, though, because Bernie Sanders is an independent, which I'm okay with, but not all independents are Bernie Sanders.
Right.
Not all politicians are Bernie Sanders. As you can obviously tell that I'm like, I will always be a Bernie Sanders fan. Okay, so, hey, Bernie, shout out to you.
Hey, hugs, Bernie.
Yeah, you get a hug. You're not you're not necessarily on our list because we made this list before you did the big check thing, but so you're an honorable mention that we're going to throw in right now, and we're doing the rest of them later.
But Bernie doesn't look like he would like hugs, though. Doesn't look like he'd be a little standoffish if you went to hug him.
When I told him that I loved him, he got like a cute little embarrassing, and then he said thank you, and he's the one that put his hand out. And
yeah, because you're cute, though.
Serena fucking ruined the picture. I'm still mad about that. I'm still mad. Like, I was so excited. I ran over to her phone and I'm like, let me see it. Let me see it. I have to see my picture with Bernie shaking his hand because he could be the next president of the United States. This was in the 2016. Okay. When he came to Phoenix. And, so I go and I'm all excited and y'all, it was nothing but a blurry mess. You couldn't even see like a faintness of Bernie. And I was like, Serena, what the fuck? You had one job. You had one fucking job, and that was to take the picture. And she goes, I know, but I was nervous too. And I'm like, all right, I'll let that slide then. I'm like, I can see that.
You know what she should have done was should have videoed it, and then you could just screen capped it.
I know, right? She should have videotaped it.
All right.
Because it was so, well, the whole story was so funny. Like, before then, he was walking along after he gave his speech, and he was signing autographs. And so I was like, oh my God, he'll sign our stuff? And so this guy was really mean to me, and he goes, yeah, if you have a pen. And so I go, well, I don't have a pen. And I was saying that, like, hoping that someone would give me a pen, let me borrow a pen. And no one did. So right when Bernie got in front of me, my only option was, I'm like, Sarah, what are you good at? Being loud. And so I was like, Bernie, I love you. So yeah, that's my story. Yeah. Okay, that's my Bernie story. Okay, so.
Okay, well, hey, special honorable mention to Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
All right, number 5.
Okay, number 5. That was it. That one actually worked. Look at that. Is essential workers. Yay! I'm an essential worker.
I was an essential worker.
The essential workers really do deserve.
Yeah, especially
a mention, a huge mention.
Well, doing what you do was very important this year.
And doing what you do, it was important too.
The grocery store workers especially.
Yeah, you know what? A shout out to the grocery workers. I want them to get... I want all of them to be able to get the vaccine before I get in line for it.
And the Walmart workers.
Yeah, the workers are great. It's the company I have a problem with.
Yeah, because those people have to go out. They're constantly exposed to the virus more in those places than anywhere else.
They should be getting vaccinated now.
And if they get it...
There should be starting.
If they get it, they just get tossed aside and get replaced with another minimum wage worker.
Because that's how they think of... Because honestly, that's how our country is not really impressed with people who work with their hands, or they're not like that. It's like, this sounds fucked up, what I'm saying right now, but it's true. Like, our country, a thing like the blue collar worker is not while it's impressive as fuck to me, like, I find myself finding that there's not a lot of guys nowadays either that have like a whole ton of skills, like, you know, remember when men used to be able to fix anything?
Yeah,
I mean, I have a dad like that.
Well, you know? In the industry I worked in, the automotive repair industry, it's getting scarce to find people because the newer generations aren't going into that. So it's like a dying breed of getting your car fixed. Because,
and I think a lot of it has to do with the way that they're viewed. They're treated like shit, and that who really cares about what you do? And it's like, bitch, someone needs to fix our cars when they break.
Well, and the other thing, a lot of
someone needs to bring you your food. Someone needs to serve you your food when you go to a restaurant.
Well, and that's another thing, raising the minimum wage to a livable wage would also help that, because it would take away that stigmatism of, hey, you're only worth $12 an hour.
That's what I was going to say. I've been saying this for years, being like a union worker too, and I'm one of those grunts. But it's like, it almost seems like in the United States, there's no honor in hard work anymore. It's like places are more impressed if you can get things done faster. That's why they don't mind making robots that'll just fucking take your job anyways. But it's like, I always look at that too, and I'm like, but what's the end game there? So what are we going to have all these people doing?
Right.
At some point, if robots are doing everything.
Yeah, because the population isn't going down.
Right.
Well, with COVID it is. But...
Right. But I mean, with people are still out there having babies. I mean...
But 2021 is going to be a good year.
Well, yeah.
So
I know we're not getting negative. I feel like when we discuss these things, and on any of our shows, and in my entire life, I feel like it's number one, important to be positive, but it's also number two, I don't like bullshit. And it's like, it's important to tell the truth too. And sometimes the truth isn't always pretty like we want it to be. So yay to the essential workers, because boy, do you represent that.
Yes,
it's like essential work is not fucking pretty work, and it's not glamorous, but it's desperately fucking needed.
Especially how about the greeters at Walmart and the local grocery stores, and you have to have that one person that is urging you to put on a mask before you go in. And the crap that they get just isn't worth the pay that they must get, although a lot of businesses don't. Folks,
switch over to picking up your groceries, because that's what I do, because I can't handle it anymore. If I go in, I've gone into just Walgreens once, and me and two other people, and then of course all the employees had masks on, and the announcement coming over the thing is everyone must wear a mask. They're telling you this, and I'm like, why aren't you telling these fuckheads this then? Because I don't even want to be on the same aisle as them. So I got my shit and I got out of there.
I've had to go into Walmart a few times, and you go into Walmart, I feel like I need one of those showers, if you're exposed to nuclear radiation, those showers that you put you under.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. All right, so moving on to number 4. And as we get down this list, it gets tougher and tougher to, the essential worker. I mean, that should be higher up than number 5, but hey, these are tough decisions, okay?
Well, all these people on our list are number ones to us, but we have to do this because this is an awards show.
Yeah. Somebody has to be number 1.
So excuse the technical difficulties, all right?
Yeah, like the envelopes. Coming in at number 4, the teachers.
One of my favorite people is the teacher. My mom.
Oh, this is what's for you.
Yay!
Snow's mom.
Yay!
The teachers had such a hard job this year because when things got shut down really quickly in March, there was no game plan in place. I have several teacher friends here in town. My sister's a teacher also, and there was no plan to what are you going to do? It was constantly over a course of a few days, it was just okay, we're going to switch to in-home learning, distance learning, and there was no plan in place. But between the school districts, the administrators, especially the teachers, they got it done. Here in Kingman, they decided to go back to distance learning for at least the next couple weeks. and then go back to a A-B schedule, which means a certain amount of kids go one day, a certain amount of kids go the next day. And I think we should also put the students in with this too, because the students have had a rough time adjusting. I know my kids have had a rough time. A lot of kids have, and their grades are in some cases lower.
And I've also heard that I think it is important that you included the students. When I was just staying, one of the guests there, she was a teacher, and so she talked a little bit about it and talked about how sometimes her students will pull her back in when they're on the Zoom things and be like, how are you doing, teacher? Or, little things that she says sometimes it even gets to you as a teacher. It makes you cry. And it's to know how difficult it is. So, the students should get a lot of credit.
Yeah, I know a teacher in Vegas that she has a really hard time with this because her mother is, immune compromised, and she's afraid, scared to death about going back into a classroom setting. And also I can include the parents of that, because parents have had a hard time with making it work, and a lot of low-income families depend on the school to be your babysitter during the day, and they've had to find ways to work around that. So it's been a tough go-around, so that's why everybody there gets an award, especially all of our teacher friends, family.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Huge hug.
Okay, that gets us to
number three. And the winner is Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams of Georgia.
Oh my gosh, I love Stacey Abrams. Okay, cheers to Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams.
And one of my favorites on the list, because here's someone who got cheated out of the governorship.
Right.
Because it had all came out that lots of people had gotten thrown off of the voting rolls in Georgia for having African American sounding names. That's what they did. So what did Stacey Abrams do? Stacey Abrams decided to fight back and get all those people re-registered to vote, and to get probably them and then some, got even more people registered to vote. She fought back. When most people would probably feel defeated, she fought back. And that is why we have a runoff election for the senators in Georgia happening right now, which we have to win, which is looking really good.
And I think that's probably her work is a huge reason why Biden took Georgia, because
it definitely is.
People were fed up. Have you seen the videos of the lines in Georgia, because they closed all the polling places and the lines go on for blocks and blocks, but those people are that pissed off that they would sit in line for hours.
Yeah.
Hours. And not to mention that,
and that's why Stacey Abrams gets the credit for that. That's who made that happen.
And all the rural hospitals in Georgia that closed in predominantly black areas also. I don't know how people put up with that crap. I guess they don't. Obviously, they don't, because Georgia should have been red. It should have been. It goes red all the time. But people are fed up with the conditions, standing in line for votes, and all the other bullshit that goes on there. And
I keep hearing Twisted Sister in my head.
And yeah,
we're not going to take it. I'm just fucking Georgia's had enough. They're fuck y'all.
You would think McConnell would have passed the $2,000 stimulus bill
to win those
seats? To win those seats. Be like, hey, here's a gift, and buy the votes. But no, I mean that's going to piss people off.
He's such a cheap ass motherfucker. Unless it has to do with getting corporations their no tax fucking prize for contributing to Republicans all these years. Like, yeah, he's not interested. Like, they're not interested. This is what irritates me the most about my friends who vote Republican is like, I get so frustrated. Like, I even see some of their other conservative values, okay? I get the fact that you love your guns a lot. I get all that. But what I don't get is why I'm not going to fucking lie to you. Like, I'm not going to be the one to lie to you. These people are lying to you. They don't give a shit about you. Obviously, they keep showing you time and time again. They're not fucking wanting to give you any more money. Well, they thought that the $600 finally, do you guys know when the House passed that bill? Do you know when the House passed that bill? No, May. The House passed that bill in May.
That's close.
It is right. Yeah, you were like, it has taken this long. We're now in the next year, and they finally decided to pass that. They do not give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck.
Well, isn't one of the guys running for Senate there under the Republican Party? He was one of the ones that he made money in the stock market as the COVID thing was exploding in February. They knew it was going to get really bad.
Both of them got in trouble for insider trading. Both of them, Perdue and Loeffler.
But nothing happens to them.
Loeffler is the richest person in Congress. She's the richest person in Congress. They just became billionaires, her and her husband. And then Perdue got all of his money and fame from Dollar General, which, folks, when I was talking about companies earlier who were on the list of employers who don't pay their employees enough and they have to rely on social services, Dollar General is also on that list. They are an abuser of the system that relies on the taxpayers to pay for their employees because they don't want to pay their employees.
I don't go to Dollar Generals because they generally put up Dollar
Sorry, that was funny.
They put up stores in predominantly poor places, and they kind of jack up prices. It's not like a dollar store.
I know. How many of them do we have here?
Oh, God, they're everywhere.
We have like at least 5, don't we? Maybe no.
Well, dollar stores or Dollar General.
Right, but okay, that's the telltale signs that you live in a working poor town are if you have an overabundance of pawn stores and dollar stores. So Kingman has way more of its fair share of both of those things. Like, we are definitely a working poor
and a lot
community.
And a lot of fast food places too.
Yeah. I know every time I turn around, we're getting a new one or another one of one that we already have. And I'm like, can't we at least get like, not that like restaurants are a whole lot healthier, but I don't know. I'm so sick of the fast food. Like, I tried to eat it. Oh my God. I tried to eat at Taco Bell not too long ago. And I'm like, I like hated myself for 3 days just because I felt like shit. I was like, why did I do this to myself? Like, it just screws up your body.
Yeah. I mean, that's a subject for another podcast, I think.
When we talk about pooping and other things.
See what you have to look forward to? The pooping.
We like to be honest here. Like to be real honest.
The pooping
no
episode.
Bullshit.
The pooping episode of the Reality Redemption podcast. Right. Coming soon, people. All right. So
we're going to call it your body, okay? And then pooping will just be a portion of it.
All right. Looking forward to that one. All right. Number 2. The scientists.
Go science!
Science was a big subject in 2020. whether you like it or not, whether you believe in it or not. How can you not believe in science? You know, it just baffles the mind.
I'm hoping that since science was such a huge thing because of the events, I'm hoping that that will put religion kind of on the back burner. Not that I have any, like, I don't have a problem with you believing whatever you want to believe. But I just think that that should be like, you know, like a separate element in your life, a private thing kind of in your life. I mean, it's fine for you to declare what you are, but like, you don't need to be all up in my face telling me about it all the time. Like,
right.
I would rather listen about science.
I have no problem with somebody's faith or religion.
Me either.
More power to you. Whatever gets you through the day, you know.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
But that doesn't mean your religion is the be-all, end-all of religions. Let people practice or not practice.
Or question.
Shout out Mark Niski.
Yes.
To, I don't know, just whatever gets you through the day, whatever helps you survive. But your ways aren't the be all end all. And
the thing is like we have friends who are religious too, and they're not annoying about their religion. Like it's like that should be like a part of your life. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be. Like if you want it to be, then it should be. But like you don't have to like force it and make it a part of everyone's life.
You know,
but science should be a part of everyone's life because we're all science. Like we're living, walking science. Like,
you know how I always win every argument on the Daily Miner with a religious person? Is, and usually a conservative religious person, is I would just say Jesus would be a progressive. Mm-hmm. Because he would be. Because Jesus would love all. He would be a progressive. Treat and technically, everyone. He would be if we're talking about the isms, Jesus would be a communist. Like, he would be more into communism even than socialism. He'd be about sharing everything. You know, and that's what people don't understand, like, even the difference between communism and socialism, which I'm not going to get into all of it, but I'm just saying on that thing, like, Jesus would be a communist. I said it. There you go. Well, if you want to argue with me on it, you tell me how Jesus wasn't into sharing. Well, you go ahead. We're going to have to, after the pooping episode, we'll have to do an ism episode. Right? We have so many episodes coming up. But the scientists, the fact that they got this vaccine ready to go in... Which my sleeve is already up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for it. Yes, and in Mojave County, where we live, the Crimson County, they're preparing the fairgrounds to do massive vaccinations. When is this going to happen? They said it could be ready in the article. It said within weeks, but I don't think that's going to happen because they're having troubles rolling out the vaccinations as they One more speak. Question too. Do you know which vaccine? Which one? Or no? They didn't specify that? Oh, okay. I didn't know if they had like a shoe-in if they were going to be getting Pfizer or Moderna. Are they both? Are they both two-part vaccinations? I don't know that. The Pfizer one's a two-part, right? Both of them are. So is the Moderna. The difference between the Moderna and the Pfizer is the Pfizer one has to be stored at the extreme low temperature. The Moderna one does not. It doesn't have to be almost freezing or whatever, or freezing, whatever it is. It's like 75 below or something like that. Yeah, it's not. That's where they're different. Yeah, but science had a huge part in this year. The science deniers also had a huge part in this year of making this COVID worse. The people that think that it's not real, it's just a hoax, it's just a flu, and all the other bullshit that we had to listen to and continue to listen to and continue to deal with. That's why the United States is the worst country in the world at handling this problem. That's why we've had the most deaths,
But hey, we're the freest.
Hey. Did you see our friend that won the county seat? He's on board with making Mojave County a sanctuary constitutional county.
By our friend, you mean Karen Weiss, who is not really my friend?
Yeah.
Is that who you mean? Yeah.
Oh,
I heard people complaining about him. And it's like, I don't really hear much about him anymore until you tell me, because like he deleted me, so I went ahead and blocked his ass, because I'm like, you know what, if you have that much of a problem with the truth that I tell, then I don't really want to even have to argue with you like in public forums. So bye. Bye, Felicia.
Hopefully,
Bye, Karen.
Hopefully science makes a comeback this year.
Yeah, for a lot of folks. Well, he's one that's he's more God than science. Let's just say that. Okay.
So we mentioned Mark. Mark was a huge part of the Mask Up Mojave County and getting the word out there, trying to get the mask mandate. Fortunately, we lost him to COVID. Some others, Nick Cordero, he's the guy that he was a Broadway actor, lost his leg very early on in the COVID back in March, and then he passed. Roy from Siegfried and Roy, he passed from COVID. Charlie Pride, a country singer. My mom used to listen to him. Did you hear Larry King is really sick with COVID?
No.
Yeah, that came out yesterday.
That's not going to be good.
Yeah, because Larry's up there in age. He's like 89.
Oh, Larry's really old.
We lost Don Wells from Gilligan's Island to COVID this week.
Oh, yeah, Marianne.
I always thought Marianne was the hotter one of the two.
Every guy always said that, and I always feel like I was more of a Ginger because, like, I like the movie star stuff. I always wanted to be a movie star.
Don't get me wrong, they're both hot, but... Yeah, I was more of a...
No, but, like, she's, like...
She is the
more relatable one. Like, Ginger was always fancy, you know?
Yeah. I wonder if Gilligan got both of them. No,
Gilligan?
no, it wasn't the professor. It wasn't Marianne.
The professor.
The Marianne was more into the professor.
Marianne were like, yeah, really. I think they probably banged.
Yeah, there had to be shenanigans going on that island.
No.
I mean, because no one can be stuck there.
The professor was probably banging both Marianne and Ginger, but like keeping it separate so he could.
The professor did seem like a player.
He was really hot too.
My nickname in high school was the professor.
Oh, look at you!
Oh, let's see who else. Who else did we lose this year? Because every award show has an memoriam.
I just see one on the list that I would like to mention.
Okay, we'll start with just Kobe Bryant, because Kobe Bryant passed away in a helicopter crash before the COVID started.
Yes, that was a really sad, and his daughter. Jerry Stiller. Happy Festivus by the rest of us.
Yeah, from Seinfeld
and Ben Stiller's
King of
dad.
Queens.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's...
Chadwick Boseman. Wakanda Forever, the Black Panther. That was a tough one for me because I was a Marvel movie
That
geek.
was a really good movie, too. I got to watch that on a flight, and I was like, no way, I haven't seen this. And it turned out like I was like, this is a really good movie.
And that movie had a lot of social commentary, like very subtle, but if you read into what that movie was going on there. Right. This one's not well known, but Vic Henley, he was a comedian that did the Opie Radio podcast, and he used to open for Ron White. He passed.
Like Ron. That's the only redneck comic I like. Is Ron White.
Vic was a redneck comic too, though. He had that southern drawl.
But, I mean, out of the four, like, main dudes, like, my favorite was always Ron White.
James Lipton, Inside the Actors Studio. He passed away this year. Okay. Kelly Preston.
John Travolta's wife. And
Jerry Maguire.
She was in Jerry Maguire. She was in... Oh my God. So I'm going to say a really obscure one that people are going to be like,
What?
wow, why would you even remember that? But because I'm a trivia nerd, like a movie trivia idiot, she was in that movie it got filmed in Laughlin, and it was about stewardesses, and Gwyneth Paltrow was in it, and
What?
Kelly Preston was also one of the flight attendants. Not
Filmed in Laughlin. When?
Yeah, I don't think it was called Up in the Air, because isn't that the one with George Clooney?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was something about like being a first class flight attendant, like because Gwyneth Paltrow's character like had made it to the first class, like she was a. It was a crappy movie, but it was great.
That's what we need an intern
Like
for.
I like it.
IMDb it, people.
I'm gonna look it up. You talk.
Okay.
Talk and distract them.
Fred Willard. He was in. You would know who he was. He's in a lot of things. Regis Philbin, Regis and Kathy Lee.
Oh my God, I love Regis too.
Probably one of the worst ones for me was Eddie Van Halen, who succumbed to cancer after many years. He had a new Wolfgang Van Halen song about his dad, and the video is a song called "The Distance." Look it up on YouTube. The video will.
Oh my God, I got it. View from the Top. That
from
was
the
the
Top.
movie.
Filmed in Laughlin.
Yeah. View from the Top. Like she ends up becoming like she was like a crappy flight attendant, and then she made it to first class. Okay.
All right. So Eddie Van Halen, he was one that got me to pick up a guitar. Horribly, could not play anything like him, but
I hope my cousin is hanging out with him right now in heaven, if there is a heaven. My cousin Angie.
Wolfgang Van Halen said that Eddie Van Halen was the worst guitar teacher because what he would do is he'd go up to Dad, how do you play that? And Eddie Van Halen would just play it. He goes, no, Dad, how do you do that? And I goes, Eddie Van Halen was like, I don't know, I just do this. And he'd be Eddie Van Halen.
Did you already say Fred Willard?
I said Fred Willard, yep.
I like all those movies he's in with. Have you seen like all the like indie movies that he's with with
Best in
Eugene
Show.
Levy?
Yeah.
And all those guys and the lady from Catherine O'Hara from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Best in Show, and there's that's the one about the dogs, and there's a hair one about like hair people.
Give a special shout out to also Dan Levy. Dan Levy was awesome this year. The David character from Schitt's Creek.
I know. Like, so he's one of my favorite people on the show. And then I was talking to one of my gay friends, and I'm like, he got like a face, and I'm like, because I think that him and his husband think that the Dan Levy's husband on the show is the hot one, and I'm like, how can you not think that Dan Levy is hot? Like, he's hot.
Yeah, I had a crush on Stevie.
Oh yeah. I like her too. She probably is the one that reminded me the most of myself.
She did have a bit of an attitude, a bit of mouth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And she hooked up with Dan Levy on the show, and I was like, oh, I wish why couldn't I be there?
All right, we got two more on the list. John Lewis. John Lewis, what a pioneer. Across the bridge there with Martin Luther King. Just a great man and dedicated his whole life to giving back. And finally on the list, the big one, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
RBG.
That was a tough one. But surprisingly, the Trump appointees all sided on the right side of history.
I know, isn't that crazy? Like, I'm like, oh, snap. Because I was waiting for him to go, the Supreme Court is rigged. I was going to be like, bitch, didn't you appoint like 2 or 3 of them?
Yeah, he got 3 of them, didn't he? Yeah, he did.
I think it was 3, because I think Well, it was definitely ACB and then Brett Kavanaugh. And then didn't
there
they
was one more,
also steal the
one that went
the
should have been
Gorsuch
Obama's,
one
yeah.
or whatever? Yeah.
Okay, well, that's going to get us to number one. So, with a drum roll. And here we go.
Number one goes to frontline workers.
Frontline workers, meaning the nurses, the doctors, and everyone else.
And as it should, that's the biggest reason why I wanted to do
number one. Wait. Number one.
That's the biggest reason why I wanted to do this show, because I was really upset with Time magazine just having, what did they call the frontline workers? Oh, and also, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, also along with the frontline workers, because he is America's epidemiologist, number one epidemiologist.
Yeah. So we're giving that, you giving him
Dr.
a too?
Fauci goes along with
Wow.
I'm so glad that they're keeping him. But yes, so we had to do this because I felt like that even though I love Biden Harris, I think that they would agree that probably the frontline workers and Dr. Fauci
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine?
were the most important.
Could you imagine going in day after day to work and all you're seeing is death and you're having to decide who gets the ventilator, who doesn't, making those decisions?
No, I could not imagine that.
And not only that, but you're constantly getting exposed to this virus.
No,
day in,
I could
day
not
out.
imagine that. I could not. I don't even want to imagine that. And that's why we have these folks.
And you have
we need to all be like, thank you.
You have some hospitals like our hospital that won't even test their employees for it, even though they are getting exposed on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
God, the real heroes of 2020 and going into 2021.
I think that once this is over too, like I think we're going to hear a lot of stories and maybe it will help shape more of the way that we view healthcare in our country and the way more that it should be a priority in our country. And maybe this will make for some great change because I think we're going to hear more fucked up stories about the way that our healthcare industry works. I mean, honestly.
Well, and hopefully we do take the Senate because I think Biden wants to expand Obamacare. And when you make healthcare more affordable, you know, hell, I can't even go in and get my blood pressure taken controlled because it's too damn expensive on it. And a lot of people are in that boat.
Yeah. It's crazy. And so, getting back to, so Dr. Fauci got the Moderna shot, the Moderna vaccine. And that's why I was wondering, because like at first I'm like, oh yeah, I want the Moderna one because like it doesn't have to be stored at the temperature, and that's the one that Dr. Fauci got. And then my sister sends me this thing that says, if you get fillers, there's like a reaction that the Moderna one does with fillers.
Huh.
Facial fillers.
Oh.
So then I was like, how is Dr. Fauci 80 years old and does not use Botox? How does he look that good?
He's 80?
How does he fucking look that good and does not use Botox?
Wow, he must have been hot in his earlier years.
To be this hot now. I mean, because I'm not going to lie. I have a slight crush on Dr. Fauci.
I mean, Brad Pitt pays him on Saturday Night Live.
I think he did that because he was like, I think he was being silly when he did that. But I mean, actually, Brad Pitt did a really good job of playing Dr. Fauci. I don't know. The only other person that I could think of that probably should have played Dr. Fauci is that Alda guy. Not Alan Alda, not the one that was on MASH, the other one. Right? Isn't that the guy's name?
Alda.
Or is it Arkin?
Oh,
Adam,
yeah, Adam
not
Arkin.
Adam Arkin. No, the other one. Okay, the guy that's in Little Miss Sunshine that plays the grandpa.
Okay, yeah.
What's that guy's name? And he was in Argo. Argo, fuck yourself. Remember? Okay, so that guy probably should have played Dr. Fauci. That's the only one I could think of. But Dr. Fauci was asked and wanted Brad Pitt to play him. He goes, I don't know, Brad Pitt. Like, I think he was being funny. But, yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, where would we be?
Alan Arkin?
Where would we be without Dr. Fauci? Be in the dark.
I don't even want to think about life without Fauci. I'm like, I'm glad that they're keeping him on. That's like one of my favoriteest things about the Biden administration.
A lot of people think that Fauci was behind all this.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. People think that Fauci's
like
the
a
one that...
conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
You ever
fuck
heard that
those
one?
people. Fuck those people.
Okay, well, yeah.
Sorry, you can believe what you want to believe. It's just like religion. Like conspiracy theories can go in the religious category.
And science, and you don't need a mask and everything else.
Keep your beliefs to yourself, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, how come... Why is it? You know, we read this list of people that died in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And how come there's no Republican names on that list? Huh?
There was the guy from Louisiana that died.
Oh, yeah, the congressman.
Okay, there's the congressman from the newly elected one that was going to be... Right? Didn't he get appointed or something?
Yeah, and Purdue, he can't. Because
he has COVID now.
COVID lockdown.
Oh, and I know someone who was a Republican and just died. Like they died. They were on a ventilator here. The guy who
runs that store,
who owns the shipping store here locally in town. So there are Republicans on that list. There's like
truth be told, though, I don't know if Regis Philbins was Democrat or Republican, or James Lipton, or any of these people.
Right.
So,
we don't know.
So who knows? All right. I mean, that's it. That was our list for the year. How come we didn't make this list? We started this podcast this year.
Maybe we are due for an honorable mention.
Yeah.
We love those.
All right, so we get an honorable mention that we started this podcast and
to ourselves.
To ourselves, being one of the, even though we didn't want to make this political at first, but we are one of the biggest progressive voices in Mojave County. So yay us! Mm-hmm. And we have got some great shows lined up in the new year. We're working on some guests, and no, it's not just a pooping episode.
Yeah, not just about pooping.
Yeah. So expect big things from this. Follow our new Instagram page, Reality Redemption on Instagram. I got a Facebook page. A special shout out to all the guests that we had this year. Don't really want to run them down. It would take a while. But thank you. Y'all know who you are.
And biggest thank you would be to our listeners.
Our listeners, because we love you. You know, and especially our new listeners in, I think, in India. We picked up a listener there.
Yay!
So heard worldwide and around the country. So yeah, thank you all for that, and hopefully we'll get this podcast even bigger and better in the new year. It's been fun. It's fun talking into this microphone and letting off steam, talking to all you, having fun, and expect more of that in the new year. So with that, we will wrap up this
Total
first hour.
therapy.
Yeah.
Total therapy.
Right.
Thank you for all the therapy.
And on that note, I know every year people go, yeah, this year will be our year. I know I said that last year. I was like, yeah, 2020 is going to be my year. It's going to be the best year ever. And that didn't turn out quite right. But
maybe this year will be better than the last.
Good year.
To quote the Counting Crows.
Because it was a long December.
It is every year.
Especially in your profession.
Yes.
But in reality, only you can make the year better. So chase your dreams, chase your goals, go out, and you guys can do anything. We love you.
Be your best you.
Thank you for supporting us. And we will talk to you real soon, okay?
Love you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.